Greetings, everyone, and welcome to YBTT's Friday afternoon mentorship moment. And yes, it's a moment we just had some reflective sounds, yes, some meditation, some mindfulness, all in keeping with our mentorship mood. And today we have, we are pleased to have some of our esteemed mentors and mentees. But before going further, let me introduce our general manager, YBTT's general manager, Shedron Collins, to share a little mindfulness with you guys before we get started.
So I don't know if I could share a little bit of mindfulness, but I mean, it's just a matter of, thanking everyone for joining us. A good Friday afternoon, folks. We're just going to talk a little bit about mentorship. We have both ends, the mentors and the mentees. And, when we say mentorship, it also involves like a three-part, we always call it a triangle. So YBTT and well, Byron as the mentorship coordinator, and connecting with the mentors and the mentees, that's to kind of figure out the relationship. And as we talk about mindfulness, we always talk about being centered and getting to the point of relaxation. Sometimes in business, especially on Friday evening business, right? It can get hectic, and it's about a time that's to kind of sit down, relax a bit, take in some inspirational quotes and motivational aspects from the entrepreneurship journey, especially when it's guided by a mentor. So back to you, Sanj.
Thank you, Shed. So let me introduce you to our mentors that we have with us this afternoon. We have Lucianne Henry, we have Ericia Bailey, and we also have Pearl Yatali Gonzalez. Our mentees, we have Joel Joseph, and we have Bernice Antwine. We may be joined by Walter Francis later on. So guys, we're talking about mentorship, but we really want to share with our viewers and those who are listening to us the value of mentorship. And it must be shared in a way that they would want to come to be part of this mentorship experience. So let me start with Lucianne. Lucianne, what encouraged you to be a mentor first, and why did you come to YBTT to get that experience?
Well, I came to YBTT because I remembered my journey as an entrepreneur. I remembered in 2009 being a new entrepreneur and not having a clue how to be a business person. I was a professional accountant, but I realized that no one taught me how to be an entrepreneur, and I made some very expensive mistakes. And I felt that if I'm in a position to share my wisdom and knowledge and my journey and help someone to not encounter those exact mistakes, I wanted to give back in that way. And that was my initial thoughts when I volunteered to be a mentor.
Great, Lucy, great. And we're going to switch it up. So we'll be talking to mentors, mentees, and having a nice conversation. So I want to speak to Bernice. And Bernice, I remember when you graduated from Jumpstart, I did a lovely interview with you. And I'm sure by now you would have moved on to some bigger things. So tell us about your mentorship experience and, of course, your entrepreneurship experience.
So my mentorship experience definitely with YBTT has been engaging. What I loved about my mentorship experience particularly is one, the lens. Having a mentor, as Lucianne would have said, is that someone to guide you, but it also allows you to put on a lens to see the world in a different frame, because you're moving your mindset from an employee based to now, okay, how as an entrepreneur, how can I value my time? How do I do certain processes different? So it's shifting your mindset, but also allowing you to put on the lens. In terms of entrepreneurship, I'm really, really grateful for YBTT because they really gave me clarity. One of the biggest lessons I learned in YBTT is one, pay yourself as a business owner. Make sure to incorporate it into your price. And two is ensuring that you have that support system. So a mentor is there, because entrepreneurship is hard. It gets, a little rough. And so a mentor is there, not only as a sense of accountability, not only as a sense, as a lens giving you lens to be clear, but also as a support system to guide you along that journey. And I'm grateful for all the mentorship moments, whether it's been a call or our long Zoom meeting or just as person speaking. I've been grateful for all the mentorship moments I have received on behalf of YBTT. So that has been my experience. Thank you.
No, Bernice, from listening to you, have really made some strides in terms of when we last spoke. That's probably about 2 years ago. But tell me, if you didn't have a mentor, do you think you would have reached this far?
Absolutely not. And I think it's important to give flowers where flowers are due, because the challenges that I have encountered, if I did not have someone saying, this is entrepreneurship, welcome to entrepreneurship. It's not about the glitz and glam and posting it on your Instagram bio. It's about having to respond to persons that may not be as happy in the moment. It's about hiring persons. It's about being compliant and making sure that you incorporate record keeping. And so that's the biggest takeaway I had from having a mentor, ensuring that you had record keeping so you can make decisions and not just flowing on your gut. And because I've had a mentor who's also there to push me, I've been able to grasp opportunities that has allowed my business to grow because of that mentor. So I definitely have to give flowers where flowers is due and say that absolutely not. I'm grateful for my mentor.
Hey, YBTT. Pearlie, let me bring you in the conversation. I know you have a love for young persons at multiple levels, but let us talk about your experience as a mentor. What drove you to that? And to be part of the YBTT family as well?
Well, I've been trained to coach and facilitate adult learning. And I found that interacting with young persons, I learned a lot about what the world is going to look like, because they were always looking at future things. And for me, that's exciting. And I wanted to be part of that future. I got the opportunity to volunteer as a mentor with YBTT, and the mentorship training that I was afforded enabled me to get a clearer understanding of the role of the mentor as YBTT sees it, in terms of allowing the growth of the entrepreneur, as opposed to advice and counseling and making sure that they do this right. It's allowing them to make the decisions so that they own their business idea and they own where they're going. But they are encouraged to continue to learn, and they're encouraged to access resources that can help them to move towards that future that they're looking at or that they are seeing. I think that mentorship training changed a part of how I interacted with the young persons, because, I think I'm like older and smarter, right? So you wanted to do a lot of the telling, and the mentorship training enabled me to understand that telling was not a learning opportunity for an entrepreneur.
Great.
Interacting with them as opposed to the telling, listening to their ideas and challenging their thought processes was, I think, the exciting part of mentoring for me. And I think that I will stay young and that I'll always know what's happening in the future because of my interaction with the young people. That, I think, is the benefit of being a mentor for me. The other side of that, though, was I have had mentors in my personal life, all right? And I have never really understood their desire to mentor me, what that meant. And it's getting this experience as a mentor now, I see more clearly why they would have chosen to mentor me, because you've got the energy and you've got the ideas, but the missteps that could take you in the wrong path and cause you to take a far longer route to get to your goals were avoided. And these were persons who saw that I was able to do certain things, but was going to make those mistakes that would take me like forever to get there. And they mentored me to bring me there a lot faster. And I think that that's what's the benefit for me in mentoring. And I hope all the mentees I work with enjoy that benefit of growing and learning, which is what I hope to impart.
Great, great, great. Let me bring Jewel in to share her experience in terms of being part of the mentorship family.
Well, it was definitely, and I should say is definitely a wonderful thing, because, I mean, we were assigned one mentor, but I felt in this program that at least I feel like I have three mentors. And it's so nice to be able to benefit from their experience. I really like the clarity that I have. They listen. I could talk a lot sometimes, and I'm appreciative of the patience. I'm also appreciative that as a person who didn't do a business at all in school, that I could benefit from their wisdom as well. So it has really been a superb experience overall for me.
Wonderful. Let me bring Aricia into the conversation to talk about why did you choose to become a mentor and why YBTT?
Well, to be honest, I'm not sure if I chose it per se, or if it chose me. It might have gone both ways, if that's possible. But in my business, I have a little bit of a session that I do where I tend to speak to persons who are getting into business, who want to be in business, and also persons who have started their businesses, where I basically chat with them about mistakes that I made so that, they could learn from it and basically give them a heads up on what to expect and, the right steps to take and all of that. So this mentorship program, it actually fell squarely with that. So I actually was scrolling on Facebook one day and I saw it and I was just like, this seems to match really well with what I'm already doing. Maybe the passion that I have for sharing information, especially with regard to business, I can use this as a platform to be able to give of myself and be able to help other persons who are getting into this whole realm of entrepreneurship, to give them some type of guidance. Because I don't know for other people, but for me as an entrepreneur, if I'm not helping somebody, I feel like, why am I even an entrepreneur? It's like almost useless. So I welcomed the opportunity to be able to give back. And as I said, give that guidance to other persons and young people better fit. I mean, that is the ideal in terms of starting. So you're able to give them that mindset from a young age in terms of what it is that they need to do. And then they have enough time to work on it, to get better, to take the advice and, make things basically be whatever it is, whatever direction they want to go in terms of the growth of their entrepreneurship journey. So that is how I got into it. It has been really good so far. I continue to get joy from sharing persons. I mean, it is very rewarding to be able to hear persons say, the things that the guidance that you gave, the advice you gave, the information that you gave to them was really valuable and helpful. And to see it, blossom and come into fruition is always something, really good.
And let me just say, folks, that we at YBTT really appreciate you all for giving up your valuable time, because young people are very dear to us, and we really, really, really appreciate you from the depths of our heart. Let me bring Walter in. Walter kept smiling. I had a nice interview with Walter earlier this week, and Walter just poured his heart out about his mentor, almost as if if his mentor didn't come into his space, his entrepreneurial space at the moment she did, he may not have been even in business, right? Today. So Walter, share with you shared with me, so share with everybody else now.
Hi, everybody. Well, when I started YBTT and I saw the advertisement with mentorship available, I was like, yeah, sign me up one time because what is going through life as a person, we learn so many little lessons along the way, and then going through mentorship, you get the added experience, the exponential added experience of other people's trials, errors, and failures in their business journey. I have no business background previously, and that's why I sought out YBTT in the first place. Um, but I had all these skills, but learning is kind of learning can be one-dimensional sometimes, So yes, we went through the presentations and we did our own work, but having somebody to talk it over with, all those lessons were very, very valuable. And also my mentor was Stephanie Khan. She's with Khan Connect, and she was a bubbly person, but also very down to earth. So when I started making like little mistakes, she wasn't afraid to say, maybe you should dial it back down. Our first mentorship meeting, because I have two businesses that are very different, she asked me flat out, she's like, are you doing too much? What are you how are you handling these things? And nobody ever asked me that before, because we have this idea, this falsehood as entrepreneurs sometimes, that we always have to be busy and on the go and doing things, and this is the life. And sometimes it's good to prioritize. And if I didn't really have that check-in from Stephanie, my head would have I'd have probably had more grays and my head would have been worn several different directions. So I was really grateful for that. She also allowed me to lead our conversations. I must say YBTT has a very structured and transparent idea. So, I would submit what it is I want to talk to her about, and then like a review after. And if I didn't have to write those things down, we'd have probably gone all over the place in our mentorship sessions. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for Stephanie. Up to last month, a year almost after me being part of YBTT's Jumpstart program, I still had an issue, and I called Stephanie and she gave me some time to talk about it. And the relationship was good for the time period, but it's improved over the time that we spent together. So mentorship for me is definitely a must. And I can aspire to be a mentor in YBTT, but you'll have a lot of work involved. Like it's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes. So it's not something I would take lightly. Check me back in 2023.
We take a note of that. So folks, we have, people, as I said, people are listening, they're signing on, they're viewing, and young entrepreneurs would want to be part of the mentorship experience. And we also have business professionals who would also want to come on board as a mentor. So let me start with Bernice. Bernice, could you give at least one reason why a young entrepreneur should seek out a mentor?
Thank you so much. I could give more than one, but I'll try to condense it as much as possible.
You could give us two. I'll give you
take
two.
The first one is that I believe having a mentor makes you less afraid of taking risks, because you're having someone there as an accountability partner, as a support system. So they know, they could see a little further ahead of you, because they know they know how to navigate the entrepreneurial space. So when you're afraid to invest, like for example, maybe $2,000 for business registration, they know the utmost importance of being registered as a business. So they're able to give you that as well. So you're less afraid to take risks with a mentor, because if it goes sideways, that this mentor is there, but if it goes right, that mentor is also there as well. The second thing I would say to young entrepreneurs, that success values speed. Do not spend your time making mistakes when persons have made the mistakes already. Learn from experience and grow your business. I don't see it necessary to, a lot of persons think that entrepreneurship is a one-man job when it is not a one-man job, having a support system is very, very important because, you know, we're getting all this information about entrepreneur in terms of you have this shiny object, this new thing, NFTs come out, cryptocurrency come out, and you want to involve all of that, but a mentor is there to keep you steady and say, this is the goal that we planned out, and this is the path that we committed to take. So a mentor is there to keep you steady, and of course, an excellent support system. So those are the two nuggets I have, right? Please, success, value, speed. Do not waste your time making mistakes that persons have made already. And of course, support systems make you less likely, less afraid to take risks, not less likely to take risks, but less afraid to take risks. So yeah, that'll be my advice for young entrepreneurs.
Thank you, Bernice. Lucian, what would you say to business professionals out there who would like to become a mentor but probably need some kind of influence or encouragement?
Well, I would tell them, ask yourself, how do you want to give back to society? And this is the best way of giving back what was given to you, because we pave the way and we run one leg of the relay, and the generation that's coming under us, they are the future. They are who our whole lives would be entrusted to. They are the future leaders. And it's a privilege to invest in your future leaders. In that way, you have a say in how you get to have your future run.
Well said, Lucian. Aricia, what would you say to business professionals wanting to come on board? Why they should be on board? Maybe by Monday we should get some applications coming in, eh?
Yes, I would encourage persons to, take part, become a mentor. It's, as I said before, it's really good to give back. It's fulfilling, it's rewarding to see you be as yourself being able to input into the growth of another entrepreneur and add to that entrepreneurial ecosystem that we have in Trinidad and Tobago. And the other side to it, I think that people don't really consider is the fact that, yes, we are imparting knowledge as the mentors to the mentees, but we as mentors, well, let me speak for myself, but I think it would be safe to speak for others as well. We also learn from the mentees. The mentees are also able to teach us things that we don't know. So it's a two-way street. It's not one way. It's not just that we are giving. Yes, we are giving. And again, the giving is very satisfying, but we also learn from the mentees because they, in their different businesses, whether it be through the skill in the whichever sector that they're in, whichever industry or field, but also in different little ways with their experiences and so on, they are able to show us new things. I've learned over the time period that I've been with YBTT, the last 2 years and more, I've always been able to learn at least one thing from whoever I have been mentoring. So I would very much be inclined to encourage persons to be a part of this because on a more macro level, we do need to have a strong entrepreneurial foundation within Trinidad and Tobago in order to give that contribution and, to reach that top level of contributing to our GDP and all of those things that we're not going to get into. But it's important for us to mold and to develop and formalize the small business or MSME, however, whatever term we want to use, but the private business sector of Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you, Aricia. Walter, what would you say to young entrepreneurs out there who need a mentor?
Well, I think most people's is a hard journey as it is. Entrepreneurship is a difficult journey as it is. And going back to what Vinny said, yes, having a support system is excellent. And a lot of times, personally, I found like it was a lot of different responsibilities I had in my businesses. And my mentor Stephanie has been through the ringer with a lot of them. Now, and since my fellow mentees already spoke about some of those things, having, I guess I could say, networking is very important. And Stephanie, for one, gave us like these little sessions every Friday, with some of them on business registration, some of them on graphics, some of them on marketing. And those are things, it's almost like if, she's like, here, you need this. This is some knowledge and information that'll help mold you in the right direction. And also putting us in networking us with persons who would be beneficial to us. So even if you are the best student and you have executed all your plans excellently, you might still just be one little powerhouse. But having that connection and networking with other persons, speaking to people outside of your area, having a mentor to guide you in the right direction, even if it's on Zoom, 3 or 4 persons might exponentially add to your network and your network and net worth. Yes. So just for that experience alone, I think it's worth signing up for mentorship, because the journey doesn't end after training, after Jumpstart and after Livewire. Getting access to those persons is invaluable. And why not Trinidad? Why not outside of Trinidad and Tobago too? We have friends from across the region where your product or services might be valuable. You never know, because you didn't know.
Of course. Yes,
So,
of course.
Valuable.
Of course. Thank you, Walter. Jewel is smiling. So Jewel, I needed to add to all the valuable stuff that was shared in terms of getting young entrepreneurs on board with us.
Well, I mean, I will endorse what was said before. I'm just thinking that, entrepreneurship is a journey. I personally could go and buy a map to get where I'm going and read it. And, I might be making some bad turns along the way. But having a mentor is like having Waze or Google Maps to tell you, all right, this is a better route, consider this option. Police is up ahead, so it's really a wonderful provision to have a mentor to guide you with their wisdom as well, and also to coach you, to not give up, to continue persevering as well. And I think those things are essential for any entrepreneur.
Great. Pearlie, you are smiling. Your words of wisdom.
Well, actually, I can't remember who said it, but I was thinking that one of the things that I got out of being a mentor, to encourage persons who might be thinking about becoming a mentor, is, and with YBTT, is that thinking is the hardest work there is. And learning to think, because you are mentoring someone, you have to understand, and that's part of the training that YBTT deals with for entrepreneurs. You have to develop some level of empathy with the entrepreneur that you're working with. And you've got to spend time thinking. And that learning to think helps you to become a better leader, more successful in whatever you're doing as a mentor. And it adds a value to your sense of self-worth that's not easily measurable or tangible. But the output from that experience becomes a hard, measurable thing in terms of how you now relate in your job, how you relate in your career, how you relate in your community. It changes that relation in a positive way. And that, I think, is like a major value in mentoring as such. And for the mentees, mentoring is a process. And sometimes when you are thinking about what why you should have a mentor in your life as you're going along. It is another process that adds to your application of the various processes you use as an entrepreneur. So it becomes a tool in your toolkit for growing your business and developing yourself and making that future into what you see it as. And that, I think, are my words of wisdom for this evening.
Some very important nuggets shared both by mentees and mentors. Let me bring Shed back in to close us off and really letting people know how they can come on board.
All right, great. So yeah, you can reach out to Byron, our mentorship coordinator. So that's mentorship@ybtt.org. Mentorship@ybtt.org. I don't think we could put this on the WhatsApp, right? But when we talked about the value of mentorship, I think we spoke a lot about the hard aspects of business. But I think the mentorship and the value of mentorship really comes around that soft element, right? What we call the soft skills, the building that confidence, just having somebody to talk to. I don't know, well, shameless plug, we have that growth and performance skills training coming up soon, right? So learning about grit, agility, and all those different aspects is really what mentorship is about. Somebody to help you, guide you through that process. And then that's our next shameless plug because we have GW coming up and we're talking about building the next generation. That's my role here. That's shameless plug all along the line, right? So when we have the theme for GW this year being building the next generation or developing the next generation of entrepreneurs. And I think that is really where mentorship is important, right? Looking at persons who would become, I think Irisia said, the contributors to GDP in the future. Right, helping persons build those businesses, right? And that's really what mentorship is about, providing that sounding board, that guidance, experience, helping develop that confidence in young persons to develop their businesses from there. So I mean, if I didn't say enough, you heard it all from the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 persons that we had on the call from before. Reasons to either get a mentor or reasons to join on the team and become a mentor, right? And like we said, it's a two-way street. Not only are you going to benefit and help guide a new entrepreneur, but you're also going to benefit and that self achievement, helping you learning new skills, right? So part of how we do mentorship is really helping persons through our Jumpstart program at the first stage. So within that Jumpstart program, helping them guide at that early stage in their business where they are just at an idea or probably somebody that just lay down their foundation, they just registered a business, they probably had one item that's sold, right? But they're kind of figuring out what next, right? And that's really what mentorship helps to kind of guide that aspect. So you're developing your business canvas, figuring out what this business is all about and what is it going to be, and helping someone to guide. I think Walter said, mentors help to ask the hard questions, like, are you doing too much? Right? Where do we go from here? So I think it's all that combination. I mean, we talk about we have volunteer mentors on board. And I was hearing Jewel say she got like 5 mentors. First mentor was free, eh? I don't know how you but what's your part of the YBTT family? I think all the mentors are open for connection, whether it was a question or fear, because each of them have their different skill sets and different personalities as well. So you can always go through the different mentors and figure out who's the mentor that can help you kind of achieve from there, because it's a learning process, and you have to get that person to give you that energize and that energizer bunny power to keep going with your business from there. So without further ado, I mean, we'll post it in the chat, but you can always just send us a message because it's live on Facebook and we're going to repost it as well. But mentorship@ybtt.org, send us an email, or you can go onto our website and you would see a nice little button in the menu saying become a mentor. So that's your options from there.
Thank you, Sharon. Folks, thank you so much for sharing some very valuable nuggets with regards to mentorship from the mentee perspective, from the mentor perspective. And to our viewers and our listeners, thank you for being part of our mentorship moment this beautiful Friday afternoon. So thank you again and bye-bye.